Let's talk about the San Jose Sharks, because they stink more than a Taco Bell bathroom with almost a historically bad record. The Sharks are currently 19, 52, and 9, which is good for a whole 47 points in the standings. But with that record, they've secured the worst in the league this year, and also thus the best odds at Celebrini. And with 2 games left against the Oilers and Flames, they may very well end up with the fewest points in a single season in the salary cap era, full season anyway. And for reference, since the lockout, the lowest point total in a single season has been that 16-17 Avalanche team, which finished with 48 points over 82 games. The 21-22 Habs finished with 55 points. Buffalo in 13-14 had 52, and this has been an all-time tank job for the Sharks, and it's all in hopes that they draft the local boy Celebrini. I say local boy because Macklin's dad worked for the Golden State Warriors for a couple of years a few years ago. Detroit also had a very bad team during the 1920 season, but that's when COVID happened and the season stopped, so we won't include them, but they had a notoriously bad 39 points in 71 games. Not ideal. But back to the Sharks, and while they are total dookie right now, is there any hope they'll be good soon? Yeah, I think so. That's why we're doing a video on it. The Sharks had an amazing draft in 23 and are set up to potentially have another very good one this upcoming year. Last year, they basically drafted a whole line, going with the Fresh Prince Will Smith at 4th overall, then they grabbed Quentin Musty at 26th, then in the second round got right wing Kasper Halttunen. Smith just led the NCAA in points during his first year at Boston College with 25 goals and 71 points, and helped the team get to the final where they ultimately lost. If the Sharks can manage to get first overall and snag Celebrini, having him and Smith as their future 1-2 centers would set them up nicely to build around. And speaking of that, Musty also had 102 points in 53 games, leading the OHL in points per games, and he looks like he's going to be ready to go sooner rather than later. Halttunen is from Finland, but he just played his first season in North America for the London Knights and had a promising season that he'll look to build upon. He might need a bit more time to cook, but that's not bad at all for your first 3 picks, including a second rounder. Then at the end of the 4th, they got undersized D-man Luca Cagnoni, who just led D-man in WHL scoring with 90 points. I will say, sometimes you see undersized players succeed in the CHL, then struggle in the NHL, especially D-man, but hey, we'll see. They also drafted a strong D-man in the 5th round last year, a solid big boy from Halifax. Shout out to Jake Furlong, who will be looking to move up soon. That draft really set them up well, and if one goes even close to as nicely this coming year, they could be back on their feet soon. Obviously, they have their own first-round pick in this year's draft, but also Pittsburgh's, as they've got their fingers crossed they don't sneak into the playoffs, and also have 2 more seconds to grab players or use to move up. And with all these picks standing by, they've also just signed Connor Graff, who we've already talked about, who's now already in the lineup, and William Eklund has also had a good first full year with 16 goals and 44 points in 78 games, and had a nice little hattie against the Blues the other day, scoring all 3 goals, including the OT winner. He looks like a certified draft hit. So, while the Sharks are on the verge of setting a new record low in the NHL, let's not pretend that's a bad thing. If you're going to tank. It could really end up paying off for them. But do you have faith that the Sharks can turn it around quickly, or do you think they're going to mismanage the heck out of these assets? Let us know below.